Hello YouTube. So we're getting to the end of the year, end of December, and I thought it would be, I've never done my top tobaccos of the year before. I know a lot of people do them every year, I watch people do them every year, and I thought I've tried a lot of different tobaccos this year, and there's been a lot of tobaccos that I tried last year and the year before that I'm still smoking really regularly now. So I thought I'd do my 2017 top 10 tobacco list. I'm going to split it into two lists of 5. Top 5 that I've smoked for the first time this year, that would be my favourites that I've tried this year. And my 5 favourites that I've been smoking that I discovered before this year, but that have been the 5 that I've gone to most this year. So we'll start with the new ones. And the first one is this. I've got it jarred up, I haven't got the tin. But it's Hearth and Home Blackhouse. And it's a ribbon cut Balkan, and it's absolutely stunning. I've heard great things about it, because with a lot of the American tobaccos, it's not the easiest thing to get them over here. So I tend to have a list of stuff that I want to try and get hold of, and Blackhouse was on there for a long time. Finally got hold of some actually last year, but I didn't crack the tin open and try it until this year, which is why it's going on the list. It's as good as everyone who'd been telling me that it was good is. I love English blends, and I love Balkans, and it hits the nail on the head. It's an absolutely stunning tobacco. The next one would probably be this. It's a Cohen, and it's Blackwood's Flake, along with Englishes. My main other thing, I smoke are straight Virginias and Virginia Periques, and Blackwood's Flake is a straight up Virginia, and it's brilliant. It's a really good everyday go-to Virginia. There's a Virginia Flake on the other list of the 5 that I've been smoking all the time, that is slightly different, but is another straight up Virginia. But I would easily pick between either of those two. First time I've tried Blackwood's Flake this year, and assuming I can keep getting as much of it as I want, you know, it'd be one of the everyday smokes I'd be quite happy to do. So I'm really pleased that I found that, and it's really, really good. The next one was a special one for me this year, because thanks to the Bosco Papa UK Simon, he sent me some Penzance. And you know, these Terrica tobaccos, especially Stonehaven and Penzance, are one of, you know, those unicorn tobaccos that everyone wants to get hold of and try. And I tried Stonehaven before and I enjoyed it, but Penzance I just wanted to try some, and Simon was good enough to send me some of that over. I've been smoking it sparingly, but it's really good. It's one of those things where you almost build up to a silly proportion in your brain about how good it's going to be. It didn't disappoint. I think there are other tobaccos I've tried that I like more. But it's up there, and of the tobaccos I've tried this year, it's definitely in my top 5 of the new tobaccos that I've tried this year. So I'm really glad that I got hold of some of that and I got to try some, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to get hold of some more in the future. So we'll see. What else have we got? Okay, this is another one that I can't believe it's taken me till 2017 to finally try, and it's the McBaron's Bold Kentucky. I smoked loads of McBaron stuff. I don't know why I'd never tried the Bold Kentucky before. You know, it's Virginias. I like Virginias. It's flakes. I like smoking flakes, and you know, it's burly. It's strong. It's got a proper nicotine hit. It's not an everyday stick it in your pipe and smoke it all day kind of smoke. But yeah, I find the McBaron Bold Kentucky is a really good solid smoke, and I really enjoyed it. And the last one for the new tobaccos I've tried this year, and this has been on a lot of people's lists, is Dunhill's Dark Flake. The standard Dunhill Flake is something I've been smoking for a long time. I know this is a reissue. I just went down to my local tobacconist and it was just there one day, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. It's really quite good. I think I prefer it to the standard Flake. It's supposed to be well, it is a Virginia Perique. It's technically a vapor, but the Perique is very light. I mean, I'm a big fan of Perique. I like it a lot, but on the face of it, the Dunhill Dark Flake seems like just a nice, simple, easy flake. It is very mellow. But it's actually quite complex when you start to try and dissect it while you're smoking it. And I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And of all the Dunhill tobaccos I smoked this year, I smoked that one the most. Despite the fact I only got my first tin of it maybe 2 months ago. But I've gone through a whole tin and just started a second tin, and I know next year that is going to be a big staple in what I'm smoking. Okay, on to list number 2, which is my top 5 tobaccos that I've been smoking this year, that I've been smoking for a while. And top of the list, definitely top of the list, is Boswell Northwoods. If there was an everyday smoke for me, the tobacco I smoke more than any other tobacco, it's Northwoods. It's not my favourite tobacco in the world, but it's in my top 5, I suppose. But there might be one or two that I actually prefer. But in terms of, I'm gonna smoke a pipe whether I'm going out, whatever the occasion is, any time of day, any day of the year, I reach for Northwoods more than I reach for anything else. It's absolutely stunning English. If you haven't tried Northwoods, you really, really should, because it is just bang on. But all the Boswell tobacco is great, but for some reason Northwoods just every single time it's perfect. What else? Okay, another one is that I've been smoking. Well, I always smoke all the time. Is Mississippi River, especially the Special Reserve, but it'll go for the standard Mississippi River as well. Again, it was one of those tobaccos I'd heard a lot about a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I got some a couple of years ago, and again, it's been a staple in my everyday smoking since then, especially when you can get hold of the Special Reserve stuff, because it's a fuller flavour and it's smoother. But even the standard Mississippi River, it's a nice, easy smoke, kind of like Northwoods is in that respect. It's not gonna, although you've got quite a lot going on there, it's all really nice and mellow and laid back. Nothing is fighting for attention. There's not lots of different flavours sort of trying to fight to the top. Everything just sits nicely, and it's just a nice, slow, easy smoke. You can smoke it without having to think too much. Mississippi River is just fantastic at that. And on the Seattle Pipe Club note, another one that is always in my rotation is Plum Pudding. This, and again the Plum Pudding Special Reserve. This is totally different to Mississippi River in so much as this has a much fuller flavour just from the smell of the tobacco and the taste of the tobacco. It's not what I would call like a really strong tobacco, but it does have a properly full, thick flavour. It's I mean, with a name like Plum Pudding you expect it to be, but it's very big. And it's a Balkan, and I love Balkans, and Plum Pudding is, it's as good as Mississippi River. Different, but as good. Seattle Pipe Club always knock it out of the park with their tobaccos. So, again, if you haven't tried Plum Pudding, get hold of some. If you can get the Special Reserve, get the Special Reserve. It's even better. It's a great tobacco. My next one would be Sam Gauss Full Virginia Flake. Straight up Virginia, no thrills, but it does what it does, about as good as anybody else. And as such, in terms of tobaccos that I go through, that I just stick in my pipe on want to go, Sam Gauss Full Virginia Flake is my go-to Virginia. Although, like I said, the Blackwoods Flake is different, but as good. And I'd probably split my smoking Virginias between those two for what I'm smoking all the time. But for years and years now, Full Virginia Flake has been a tobacco I smoke weekly, ever since I've been smoking pipes, I think. And I absolutely love it. And my number one, and all of these other ones aren't really ranked at all, they're just, these are the 5 that I've discovered this year that I like, and these are the 5 that I whatever, except this one. This one is, I think, my favourite tobacco. Is it my favourite tobacco? That's a hard thing to say. But it's certainly the one that I look forward most to opening when I open a new tin. It's one of the ones that I always have a full jar of. I will never allow myself to be out of stock of it. And it is Maclean's Throgmorton Cellar. What can't you say about this tobacco? It contains, I mean, it's in English, but it contains, you know, my two favourite things, Latakia and Virginia, and it does it with a kind of, how do you describe Frog in a Cellar? It's just the best. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's not too strong, it's not too mild, it smells good, it tastes good, it's got the lovely bit of whiskey wood that you get in the tin. It's from start to finish, the bowl is fantastic. It's certainly my favourite English. It's my favourite tobacco, I think. I think the only reason, if I ever smoke Northwoods more than I smoke Throgmorton in the Cellar, it's probably because I don't want to get sick of Throgmorton Cellar. I don't think I ever will. But yeah, so there you go. Those are my top 10. 5 new ones, 5 old ones. Honourable mentions. This year I picked up some Wilderness by Maclean's. I really enjoyed this. It's not going in my list mainly because I've only had a few bowls of it, but so far, out of just nice surprises, this has been one this year that's been really good. And in terms of stuff that's in my rotation all the time that didn't quite make the list, Dunhill's Elizabethan mixture, that's something I smoke very often. Samuel Gow's Cabby's mixture, that's something I smoke very often. And Maclean's Balkan Beauty, that's another one that I smoke quite a lot. But it's a list of 5 and a list of 5, so those ones didn't make it in. But anyway, any of those tobaccos you haven't tried, go out and try. They're fantastic. And I hope all you guys have a really happy Christmas and a really good New Year. And I'll see you guys in 2008. Take care.